What is going on, YouTube people? New Cards and Comics here for the weekly sports card market update. And what a week it has been. I think I posted videos 6 days this week, including a Saturday video, because it has been a slew of nonsense this week. A lot around the Topps Panini sale. We have the World Series going on, which I should note, I am recording this prior to Game 7. Have the comic book live stream tonight, which some of you may or may not have already seen, and has some family stuff today. So recording this around lunchtime on Saturday. So I don't know what happens in Game 7. Watch Game 6. Crazy game. Crazy game. Looks like we're getting Ohtani starting in Game 7. We'll touch on baseball prices very quickly, but I don't want to dive into it too deep with the World Series ongoing. The two biggest hobby stories of the week have been the Upper Deck president coming out and basically saying everything's smoke and mirrors, and then it's only for the rich. And then the Topps Panini, will they, won't they? So we'll dive into some of this and some other things we missed. I will note as well, gem rate numbers will be coming, or already out by the time you're seeing this. I have not seen them yet, so I will cover those in a video early next week. Or this upcoming week, rather. With that being said, before we dive too deep, shout out to channel sponsor, video sponsor, COMC.com. Your home for buying and selling of trading cards. They have tons of different ways you could do it. And now, just recently, they have launched their direct to cash auctions. So even if you want to sell on the platform and consign through them, but you don't want store credit, maybe you want actual cold hard cash, you could select that as a choice when you list your item for sale and go that route. And keep your eyes peeled. Later this month, they'll be running all their Black Friday stuff. We don't have details on it quite yet, but they always run aggressive Black Friday stuff. So head on over to COMC and check them out. First up, just a quick little note here. Just something I noticed. We talk about this. I touch in on this every once in a while. This is the Dune report for those that have seen this before on the channel. For those that haven't, Courtyard.io, the repacker, when they sell their repacks, they're attached to an NFT. NFTs have tracking. This website tracks Courtyard's revenues. Now, is every dollar here 100% repack? No, some of it could be marketplace transaction. But regardless, it gives us a general idea of what is going on over there. And the thing that I want to note is their lowest month since February. February was 42.5 million. This month was 43.5 million. That is a almost 14 million drops from September. Huge drop from August, but I think they got a big bump from the National. They had been doing pretty consistently in the high 40s, and now they're in the low 40s. So we'll see how that goes as we move throughout the rest of the year. Is that repack volume is slowing down? Maybe. Is it they have more competition now with power packs coming online? Maybe. Is it just a slow month? Maybe. But just wanted to note it. Found it interesting that they had a little bit of a drop off. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see what it looks like when we get to the end of November. A lot of the sports cards still seem to be doing pretty well, but like we've seen in the Pokemon side of world, that things have slowed down ever so slightly. There's been a little bit of a pullback. We have yet to see that on the sports card side of things, like with the 80s, 90s, 2000 GOATs stuff that have been performing extremely well. The Bonds, the Griffeys, the Kobes, the Jordans, those sorts of cards have been performing extremely well. Those, to the best of my knowledge, from what I've seen, have not slowed down at all. The high end is still firing on all cylinders, but we're heading into the holidays, and we will see if the diversion of cash for holiday spending and just the general outside world has any impacts on the rest of the collectible space. Couple quick hitters here. Bowman University Chrome football came out this week. That's a mouthful. on the old Topps.com and is still available. Did not sell out. Now, maybe this is expected. I will be the first one to tell you college football is not my game. I am not sure who the big chases are in this product, if there even is any. So maybe this product was going to be mid right from the get-go because of the checklist or whatever. Someone could sound off in the comments down below, but I just did want to note jumbos or regular hobbies at 150 and jumbos at 250. And there are 4 autographs in a freaking jumbo. Still available. Still sitting there as of time of recording on Saturday, and also up on Fanatics website as well. So this product, so far. But like I said, I don't know who the big chases are on the first Bowmans for the autographs and stuff. That usually drives these smaller scale products. Next up, let's dive into some different aspects of this Upper Deck President stuff. So, I touched on this in the, Too Poor for Sports Cards video, and he's done some additional footage with Darren Ravel over at Collect and caught a little bit of blowback from Blowout, which I briefly mentioned this. I didn't get into it. It is amusing that the Upper Deck president is the one calling this out. And I generally like Upper Deck. I really liked what they did with Marvel stuff. I've been intrigued with what they've done with DC in the limited amounts that we've seen. DC Metal, which is about to come out any single day, looks like a fantastic product. But, before you call out the entire hobby, let's remember that Upper Deck has by far and away the most draconian distribution policy ever that has single-handedly, in my mind, maybe not single-handedly, but has played a role in helping increase their box prices. For those that don't know, and Blowout hit them twice. They hit him once on the initial, and they hit him again after Darren Ravel's interview or chat with him. For those that don't know, the way that Upper Deck works is you have to be an authorized dealer for one, which is by all accounts one of the toughest distributions to get. They are extremely difficult to get access to product direct from Upper Deck. Once you get it, they are extremely restrictive with how you can sell it. They only let a handful of the biggest players sell their product early. David Adams, Steel City. I thought Blowout was on the list. Maybe they aren't. I don't remember. But I know David Adams and Steel City are. They are the only ones, or the only handful of ones, there might be one or two more, but basically they restrict who can sell pre-order product for Upper Deck stuff. What that means is they basically get to manipulate the price however they want. When Marvel stuff was extremely hot, we would see this at David Adams all the time. They would take, for example, Dan Dos Santos Marvel Masterpieces. They would release a handful of boxes out at an entry price. They would sell out instantly. They would jack the price $100. Do it again, rinse and repeat, keep moving that price up until it got to the point where they basically sat. But at that point, it would be a few $100 more than what it started at. And because they were one of the few that had the ability to sell the product ahead of time online, there was no other shops that could come in and undercut that price to force it back down again. So this meant that it lifted up all the other prices. Everyone else would raise up to meet whatever, usually David Adams and Steel City did, because there was no price competition coming from anywhere else, because Upper Deck controlled or controls who can sell ahead online. And then even once the product's live, there's a bunch of rules and regulations that they have to follow for selling online in regards to country, all sorts of stuff. There's a bunch of, and I don't know them all, but I know enough to know that it is a pain in the butt. And that is something that Upper Deck did. Upper Deck will sit there. I've heard them on interviews before and say, hey, we don't set the prices for, we have no power in what the secondary market does. Yes, sure, but also not so fast, my friend, because of the way that you set up the rules, you kind of are impacting the secondary market price. So I just found it amusing that he would get on his soapbox when they also have these sorts of policies floating around on the back end, which has served Upper Deck well. I am sure it has benefited them greatly. Next, one I did not talk about this week. Whatnot valuation. 11 billion with a B. I think I randomly tossed this into a video, but I didn't do a standalone video on it. Listen, I don't think most of the viewers of this channel like Whatnot very much. I'm sure there are a few folks out there that buy and sell on there. I don't think a majority of my viewers enjoy the Whatnot experience. I think it's probably our age bracket. It's our demographic is just not, we grew up on QVC, not if we want live selling, give me the home shopping network, not an app on my phone. I don't have time to sit there and wait for whatever card I want to buy to come up to bid on and probably overpay for it because everyone's FOMOing left, right, and center. And I also don't buy in the breaks. And that's the other big thing on there. But there are a lot, even though we might not like it, there are a lot of people that do. And there are a lot of folks that use Whatnot. And they are a money printing machine. 11 billion valuation. Now, what the hell does that actually mean? I have no idea. I'm not one of these investor bro guys. I just know 11 with a B after it is a big number. Even if it is smoke and mirrors, there's still got to be something there to get that type of check. They got 225 million in a funding round. So Whatnot is not going anywhere soon. Didn't touch on this one either, though it got a lot of traction. The Babe Ruth $3 million loss on the Baltimore News. Kind of a trading card, kind of not. I think this is actually more of like a checklist or something. This is out of my wheelhouse. But someone took a $3 million hit on this. Did they? My first question when I saw this sold back in 2023 for $7 million was, I didn't go to, oh my God, they lost $3 million. I went to, was the $7 million sale, like air quote, real? Did they want to take a tax loss on this? Was it bad timing? I don't know. I don't play in this super crazy high-end world, so it baffles me sometimes. But all I know is when it comes to high-end stuff, I pretty much side-eye everything to a certain degree. To some degree or another, I'm just giving that a little look like, all right, sure. $3 million loss, huh? Okay. I don't go to the tinfoil very often, but on high-end transactions, I'll go to the drawer and pull the roll out and set it on the counter. I might not put the hat on, but it's on standby for sure anytime this high-end stuff goes down. Speaking of high-end, Luke Skywalker 77 in a PSA 10, record-breaking sale at $270,000. I believe the previous sale of this was $70K. So a massive increase, I believe, from memory. This is like a pop 8 or 9. There is not a ton of these out there. It is nice to see pop culture get some love. And even though this is more in my wheelhouse, I will repeat what I just said. Though I am excited about this sale to see a non-sports card get a huge bid, I'm still looking at it a little sideways. Now, everything could be 100% on the up and up here. But still, anytime the high end's involved. But if everything checks out, monster sale for this card. Good to see on the non-sports / pop culture side. And 77 Top Star Wars is a iconic set. With that, let's click on over to Market Movers. Link in the description down below if you want to play around with your own version of charts and graphs. And look at some card prices. We're going to look at basketball, and then touch on baseball very quickly. Checking in on Topps box prices. Jumbos still sitting around 400. Hobby sitting just over 200. Very slight increases for these. I'll be curious to see how long until we get another Topps basketball release, and what is it? I wonder if it'll be like Finest or something like that. They have the holiday release, but that's kind of its own little thing. It's still a little too soon to look at individual card prices, as these things are still kind of finding their floor. If you want to buy singles from this, unless it's ultra rare, just wait like another week or two. A lot of this stuff is continuing to come down. A lot of this stuff continues to be open. I'll stick with what I said when I originally opened this. If you got jumbos at around retail price at around $220, pretty good opening experience. I had a lot of fun. If you're paying $400, I don't think so. I think it's going to be pretty tough to get your value back out of those boxes, or even anything remotely close to it, especially now as the base cards continue to come down. I saw like a Cooper Flag base rookie is down to like $5 or $6 now. That's going to keep coming down. They were 10 to 15, even 20 the first day or two of release. We see this rinse and repeat all the time. Let these sets breathe before you buy. And if you're opening, you want to open on release day as much as possible if you were trying to rip and get back at least a portion of the money that you were throwing into it. This set, to me, it's about some of the short print inserts, and it's about the gold mirrors. Obviously, you can hit low numbered stuff on autographs and things like that, but those are the things that set it apart from any old release, in my opinion. The All Kings, the gold mirrors, the Soul Ambitions, the Hardwood Classics, those sorts of things are the ones that you're going to want to be looking for, in addition to the autos. The paper base isn't going to be a thing. Those are going to go to zero, or is next to zero. The numbered parallels and things like that will perform okay, but keep in mind, we have Topps Chrome coming, and once refractors roll in, it kind of changes the game on a lot of this stuff. Let's stick with basketball. One of the biggest stories of the season so far is the Spurs. Victor looks insanely good. Wembanyama is on an absolute tear to start the season. The Spurs are 5-0. They look fantastic. Stephen Castle is playing extremely well. Dylan Harper's playing well. They don't even have De'Aaron Fox back yet. Team looks great. He is doing some crazy stuff. He looks like he is leveled up, and his card prices have leveled up to go with it. So over the last 30 days, and I just threw Luka up here. Luka's been hurt, obviously. I'm not so much focused on the Luka pricing, but Wemby has jumped Luka. Luka Silvers have been doing around 1,500. Wemby's are now doing 1,800, creeping on 2K. Will that hold? We'll see. Luka came back last night. Maybe he sees a little bit of a jump back up, but Wemby is now king of the ultra modern. So basically 2017 and newer. Wemby is top of the food chain. Prior to that, you still have Giannis and Joker of the Prism era players for what they sell for. Their silvers, though much lower pop count, are still the kings of the court, if you will. But Wemby is the new king of the ultra modern crowd. If the dude could stay healthy, that's really what it's going to come down to. He is doing things none of us have ever seen before, and he clearly looks like he has gotten a lot better this year. He's sticking up a little bit. His handle's been crazy. He's kind of changed the way he's been playing offensively, taking less outside shots and going to the basket more, and his defense is absolutely insane. He is the total package. It's just all about health for the alien. Next up, just a handful of other guys that have been performing extremely well, and their card prices are reflecting it. A lot of NBA stuff, especially the little bit of a cheaper players that are having stronger starts to the season, are seeing pretty big bump ups. 3 guys to look at here. Buzelis for the Bulls, his silver prism up 54%. Stephen Castle for the Spurs up 55%. And then Tyrese Maxey, his silver prism up 85%. The Sixers in general have been balling out. Maxey plus VJ Edgecombe. And I should note this, we don't have prices for any of this stuff, but the current rookie class seems like it's going to be pretty good. Cooper Flag has turned things around since his opening night performance. VJ Edgecombe has been on fire right from the start. Ace Bailey has actually probably been the most disappointing of the top picks. Cedric Howard has been playing extremely well. Dylan Harper looks like a real deal coming off the bench for the Spurs. So this rookie class is going to carry a lot of waves in the future release product. But some of the more recent players, these are 2020 for Tyrese Maxey, but 2024 for Bezelis and Castle, are seeing pretty big level ups in their pricing so far. Some guys going down as well. I didn't necessarily pull them up here, but like Jalen Green has taken a pretty big hit in his prices out of the gate. I saw Trae Young got hurt and is going to be out for a few weeks, and the Hawks have started a little bit slow. But I just wanted to take a little sneak peek and see how the early season NBA was performing. Let's switch over and look at a little baseball. And like I said, with Game 7 pending, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but there are a couple things I do want to hit on. Trey Savage has been absolutely crazy. He pitched a gem in Game 5, and his prices have gone insane throughout the playoffs. This is his first Bowman in a PSA 10 in Raw. Over the last 90 days, up 440% on the PSA 10, and his Raw is up 630%. We'll see what PSA 10s do. His Raw got a really big bump up with that last performance. There's a bunch of PSA 10s currently running at auction that I saw when I was looking at this stuff. So it'll probably be a little too much inventory, and a lot of it will probably depend on what has already happened in Game 7 of the World Series. Vlad continues to see nice price increases as he continues to be on a tear throughout the playoffs and the World Series. His stuff is up across the board. And then last but not least, Ohtani has actually kind of leveled out a little bit. Now, I say that not knowing what happened in Game 7. So that could be a very funny comment for a lot of different reasons, depending on what goes down. But needless to say, he had his big spike up from his crazy game where he had the 10, 12 strikeouts and the 3 home runs. He leveled up and is now kind of flattened over the last 2 weeks, basically a 15 to 20% increase on a couple of his key cards. I have the Bowman batting, the Bowman pitching, and his Topps Chrome Refractor pulled up here. But like I said, Game 7, we'll see how that plays out. You boys and girls already know. We'll see how Week 9 in the NFL season plays out as well. Hope everyone had a fantastic Halloween. We'll have a look at what were probably some crazy gem rate numbers early this week. Beyond that, that's the only thing I know for sure. But the sports card world continues to turn in crazy ways the last few weeks, and I expect nothing less heading into November and the full holiday season. And now it's time to set our sights on one of the best holidays of the year, Thanksgiving. Give me that turkey and stuffing. Catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.